what it is. Tarnation TV live on the YouTube machine. Thanks for watching. If you are watching live, that's cool. If you're watching the replay, also cool. Thanks for doing the thing and joining us at a racetrack here in New Hampshire today. Some flat tracking. We've been off for a week here at Maverick. This is race number 18 of 26. We're getting there. This is a long season. And Austin LaPlante back after a 4 or 5 race suspension. I don't know what he did, but he's our in-race reporter this evening, so that'll be cool. Talk to him a few times throughout this racing event. As always, thank you to Maverick for having us. Thanks to all the drivers. Thanks to everybody watching. And thanks to myself, Blaine Donlan, and of course, thank you, Mr. Rod Weston.
Yes, sir. Well, got to talk points. It's usually things that I bring up on the beginning of every one of these broadcasts. We had Josh Mercurio had the points lead for the most of the season, now sitting back in 6th. A couple of the drivers had taken some time off, but no surprise, Jack Merkel back on the point. Got a 131-point lead over Jonathan Peavy. Have to thank Jonathan Peavy for helping us tonight because we had a little issue with the track, and Peavy got us straightened right up. And then Paulo Vitor, been hanging right around there in the top 5 most of the season, sitting there in 4th. Keith Hughes in 5th. And Allison Rodrigo is in 6th. And then I said, again, Josh Mercurio is in 7th. Well, actually 5th. Sorry, my bad. I'm looking at it. They got them numbers kind of messed up the way they got it. But, yeah, New Hampshire. I don't live too far away from here. Actually, I'm about an hour and a half drive from here. So I actually took Bob Spring over there when we went over, and when he was up here. And we went over, and we didn't get to go on the track, but we got to see the track. So that was kind of cool.
That's pretty awesome, having your home track be a major league track like this. They still run here in real life, NASCAR?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
actually,
good.
they ran last weekend.
Oh, right.
Brian Blaney won it.
Nice. Yeah, I was thinking...
It's a cool track.
Back to even the old games had this track in it. Like, I remember we always talk about all the old Papyrus Sims that we've had, and I had IndyCar racing the first one, like 93, 94, and I remember Loudon and Hampshire being in that one.
Yeah. I never got to see an Indy race here. I've seen a few Cup races. To me, if you really want to see a great show here at Loudon, you go on a Saturday when they have the modifieds. Usually they'll have the O'Reilly series, the modifieds, and sometimes they'll even have the trucks. And I'll tell you, you ain't never seen nothing until you see the modifieds, the Wheeling Modified Tour run on this track. It is absolutely incredible. There's bump drafting. There's
they bump drafting the Wheeling Modifieds?
Oh, on this track, yeah. It is so cool. I mean, you cannot believe the difference. You got 2 guys coming off the corner side by side. You know what I mean? And another guy gets up behind him and just pushes him. And you think the draft is impressive at Daytona or at Talladega when they get those runs going. The modifieds are even better. It is so cool. It's such a great place to run the modifieds. It's a great one to watch, actually.
It's weird to me, like how you could make it the same track 3 times and all 3 of them would run different. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's weird how you can get that type of racing here, but not at another mile-long flat track. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, like Gateway's about a mile, flat track, but it's a totally little differently. But it does drive completely different. And this track's gone through some different alterations over the years. Originally, they had, I believe, they were the white line was out a little bit further. They widened the track a little bit. And then I know they've changed they kind of made it a multi-banking, but not really, overly crazy on that. And so they widened the track. And so literally what happened is the drivers used to just drive down on the bottom of the track. So they figured if we're going to drive down there, we might as well make a track. So it is pretty cool.
The way that they were racing the track or using the track forced them to just kind of be like, oh, all right. And then they just kind of changed the way that it's laid out.
And it has a road course in it as well. Originally, it was a road course. It was a road course track only. And then I can't remember, I think it was the Baird family. I could be wrong on that. They bought the place and then they built, what we know is to be, the Loudon. But they still have the road course. It runs, so if you're looking at the camera angle on the broadcast, you can kind of see where they go down pit road, and there's like a little track inside on it there. And then they go down the backstretch, and they'll go back down into the track a little bit. Then they come right back across the track and up around the top. It's almost just like the boot. You can see it in the broadcast a little bit there. There's a little bit of the track on the backstretch, and then it goes up. Right, they don't have it in the game there, but it goes up around right behind where those campers are, and then comes back out on the track. You go down to turn 3 and 4.
I see. They've actually got the tire marks. Where it would
and
be.
If you go down,
I mean, we're obviously racing in the oval, so there's nothing going to be back here. But that's pretty cool.
Right. You can see right here where in the backstretch, I'm a little behind you, but where they turn and go back up and in there. And there's like a little boot up there. It's not going to be there because they didn't finish it. And it's not important to have that there. You know what I mean? When they're doing it. Yeah. While we're broadcasting it. So, but it goes up and around, and then they come back down onto the track, and then they go right down to the infield again. So they don't use any of the big track's outer corners, but it's a road course in there. And they run motorcycles, the 24-hour lemons up here. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I see. So the track that we're using, this darkened area that we see, is the NASCAR, is the oval. And then this inside access road that then goes up around the trees up there and back down. They never actually touch the main track surface. The front stretch.
Oh, they do on the front stretch. They go down the front stretch, and then they drop in. And they go just a little bit down the back stretch. They drop back in, and they go across the track, and then up to that little boot up there.
So that, I mean, I was comparing this to the stock version that came with the game itself back in 2003.
Yep.
It's so much more advanced, really, because whoever put this together really knew this track's history if they were going to put in all this stuff.
Yep. That's kind of a cool class.
That's pretty neat. You got the right guy putting it together.
But now it's our chance now to get to talk to our in-race reporter, a guy that I think he might live a little closer to the track than I do. That is Austin the Bandit LaPlante. Austin, you got Rod Blaine live on Tarnation TV. You got a copy?
Yes.
How close are you to the track compared to, what, miles-wise? Or
approximately an hour.
Okay, so you are a little closer to mine than me. Of course, you'd probably come up on the interstate from the bottom, right?
Correct.
Yeah, see, I come in, I'm about midway, so I kind of come in, and I always came in from the Laconia exit and then come down from the north. So, little less cars until everybody learned that secret. But so glad to see you back, though. Pretty harsh penalty. Not sure what you did. Not going to worry about it, but glad to see you back running. I got a few different drivers in your car. You going to be rusty tonight, or you've been practicing while you were, what?
Rusty as hell, because unfortunately, because you were testing the track earlier, they had to fix a little glitch earlier. Plus, they fixed the grip to properly. So unfortunately, you won't be seeing me racing on the apron with the left front tire up on the ground. So I'm pretty much going to be in the back of the field as basically a field filler. But hopefully, being at the race Sunday minus the rain, it's not like quote a wet track on NR. Let's see if I can somehow use the small knowledge. I was there Sunday about tonight, and JLP was there as well. He's not racing tonight because he's in Brookline right now. He doesn't have a racing wheel right now.
Okay. Because this is one of the first tracks that the bigger track that they'd actually put the rain tires on there, Blaine, is what he was referring to.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And, yeah, they had to because they went into turn... Wasn't it turn 3? I think it was.
3 and 4, and posted tire Reddick spun around, and he deserved that. Oh, did I say that? How about those 3 races in a row, eh?
Has that Ryan Blanley been mopping them up here a little bit? Is he? I haven't been watching the races, so I just knew that. Ryan Blaney had won this weekend, so.
I mean, so people say it's probably one of the best New Hampshire races in the next gen by far. Not really adding the fact that it was started in the rain a little bit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was raining a bit too hard before NASCAR said, yeah, we're going to have to let it slow up and dry up the track just a little bit. But I think they dried it a bit too much. Because they were complaining on the scanners, because I bought a scanner or rent a scanner. Said, why did they dry the track? Now we're just going to be wasting these tires.
Yeah, well, the rain, I don't know. To me, the Cup cars aren't really, I'd say, great in the rain. I don't know. It's never been my thing. I always thought they should be on slicks and on dry track. But, you know, I don't really follow NASCAR as much as I used to. I don't like the direction it took. But, hey, you know, we're still having fun with this game and having a good time, so.
No doubt about it. And just a quick note in its quick history. It wasn't until the 2002 season where they repaved it and did adjust the width of the track and the banking, and they did not like it. And so the next season, they fixed it again and made the where the white line is, the first broken white line, flat, even though it's not really flat on this version. And it's the variable 2 to 7 degrees bankings up to the wall. In fact, this was actually the third track overall to install the safer barriers in 2003. You know, Indy started in 2002, then Richmond in 2003. That's the infamous Kevin Harvick, Ricky Rudd confrontation.
It is also one of the tracks that implemented what they gave the lucky dog rule. Because
it was the last race where they stopped racing back to the line.
Right. Because
and the next race, Dover, another mile bank track where they implemented the lucky dog. And 23 years later, I think that's one of the best improvements. And they probably should have made it back then.
Yeah, and the reason why Dale Jarrett spun off of turn 4, right in the middle of the track. And
I remember seeing that on YouTube many years ago. It was like, I wonder. Now I know why they did stop racing back.
And that, you know, they decided that no, that's getting a little too dangerous. We got to do something different about that. So, but I can see we got very little time where we're going to green. You don't mind if we come grab you maybe during a caution or something like that? Have a little chat with you.
As long as I don't do anything stupid and cause myself to get parked, because I am now. Something else I'll say, I am on probation for the rest of the season, so anything stupid I do, it's more vacation time for me. And more time watching your broadcast as well. Oh, no, did I say that? Okay, I'm going to get on track.
Yeah. All right, well, you go, good luck, and stay out of trouble tonight, bud. Left before I could even move him.
He's amazing. That guy's amazing. We should just leave him up here the whole race.
Actually, you know, we didn't really have time. We can go through real quick, I guess, but... no surprise, Jack Merkel on the pole and at a pretty hefty little, difference of speed, couple of tenths faster than. I'm looking at Happy out here. I got to get to the right one. He's still pretty fast. We got Jack Merkel on the pole, Josh Mercurio second. Let's see here. Drew Fast third, Jonathan PB fourth, RJ Bishop's going to start in the 5th spot, Keith Hughes 6th, Pablo Vitor 7th, Carby Edwards is going to be 8th. 9th is going to be M. Curry, and I'm trying to remember which Curry's first name is, and I apologize for that. 10th is going to be Alison Rodrigo. 11th, Noah Hart. 12th, Neves. 13th is Austin LaPlante, the guy we just talked to. 14th is Thomas. 15th, M. Figueroa. 16th, Phil Parker. And 17th is Corona. I hope I said that right. 18th is... How do we say that? Fizitoa?
I think it was Fizitoa.
But yeah, there you go. And 19th is going to be Merritt. Yeah. Martin Mendezes. I can't speak tonight.
No, you can't.
No, gotta get some more to drink in. But we'll just do the top 20 for now. Guerrero is there, and then Yankee, McIntyre, Not Me, Kennedy, Young, Snyder, Dorsey. Lamas, Jorge Pochon, Scully, Garcia, and rounding out the field tonight is going to be Tristan Torres. The top 22, the only one that took time.
Torres has been having a couple of rough weeks. He was a pretty good contender last season, and then he's just been having some bad luck.
They get back to the green there. Jack Merkel got a really, really good launch off that one, got out in front. Might get the corner really good, but Josh Mercurio behind him actually kind of hit the corner a little bit more better, kind of got a better angle on it and got right to his rear bumper, so he's doing well.
Yeah, Merkel off a win there last race too. Richmond a couple weeks ago. Merkel took that win. He's the guy to beat.
Drew Fast. A little too fast into turn 3 and 4, or out of 4, was a little bit high there. Kept his position, lost a little bit of time to Merkel and Mercurio there, but that's not hard to do here.
that NVIDIA car that he's rolling there kind of resembles your Ryobi ride you might be taking out on Talladega Challenger next season, eh? Little bit. Same.
Oh, yeah.
The color, the green is a little bit more yellowy, I think, than Ryobi, but I do love the simplicity of like a 2-color car.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually Bob Spring came up with that idea. Him and his chat GTP. We see that all the time, and probably a lot more than we need to. But you know, Bob gets in there and he has a good time with it, and he designed me up a car, and I said, oh, that's cool, you know. I said, yeah, but you know, you got to get something kind of a Ryobi green, and then that gave him an idea, and he did up this Ryobi paint scheme, and I looked at that and I said, that is awesome. So I immediately sent it to Rodney Sullins and said, can you paint me this up 19, you know, I want RTG on it, I don't want this, that, and he did an awesome job with it. And then the bottom of the quarter panels, rear quarter panels, has the Jaeger bomb on it, so I thought that was a nice little nod to the old car. So yeah, but he did a phenomenal job. Hopefully be racing it this Thursday. They're having the Bones Memorial race.
Oh, right, yeah, the Canada Memorial, yeah.
And I got to race my way in. Great thing is I don't have to qualify my way in, but I got to race in. So if I can race in and get into the top 20th in my respective heat, I'll be in the show.
Just following Noah Hart around here. He's using the apron in turn 1 and 2.
As is Jack Merkel.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that before, how they just kind of, you know, allow that to happen. The guys just find these different lines. But yeah, you'll watch him right here to turn 1, get right down on. You talk about flat track. There's a little bit of a bank.
You gotta watch
when you're
Jack
using
Merkel.
the apron, you're going right on. You're completely flattened out down there.
Yep, Merkel is doing that on the exit of 2. Waiting to see. I don't think he's doing it on the exit of 4. Now the reason why they do it, it's called de-wedging the car. I did a few laps out there with the guys. You know, when you do an open setup, you got to make a setup that's good for all. You know, that's the way it's got to be. Way, in my opinion, a little too tight on exit. So it could be the case for Jack Merkel. So what he's doing, he's going down there and he's de-wedging the car. So in other words, it's actually taking wedge out of the car, adding wedge will tighten up the car on the exit of the corner. So by de-wedging it, it's actually loosening up the car a little bit and allowing him to turn better off the corner.
Because if you're going into a corner, you'll usually like load the suspension, right? You kind of set the car and you can hammer on the gas to load that suspension. Does that not throw it all off completely if you're using that flat apron to?
Well, like I said, with an open setup, you know, you wouldn't probably be doing that. You'd be, you know, creating changes to make it better. But with the setup the way it is, so this is a flat track, a little bit different style of racing, and most of the smaller tracks, everybody brakes. But what you do is you go in and you brake, the car does what they call landing. So you'll note, if you watch, like I'm watching Josh Mercurio right now, you can see when he hits the brake, the front of the nose goes right down to the track. And that drop's called landing. And that's when you got the most load on the car going into the corner, and it's basically working on the front end of the car. And you get to the middle of it, well, when you start getting on the gas, you're actually pulling that nose back up. Okay, so now you're working off the rear of the car. But if the rear, in this case, is not quite, you know, getting, it's too grippy, I guess, by de-wedging it, you'll unload that right rear a little bit, and actually, like I said, makes the car turn better.
Yeah. So you're kind of taking you're taking a fixed setup race, and you're finding a way to make it work for yourself. Because you're unable to tweak anything, really. You're only really able to tweak, you know, how much fuel you're putting on, which affects the weight of the car.
And the steering ratio. So the steering ratio kind of helps sometimes with different people have different philosophies. A lot of it too depends on your wheel. But or in the case of some of the drivers that are out here tonight, keyboard. You know what I mean? I would be very interested to know what Cody Lamas or Paulo Vitor run for, you know, steering and ratio running a keyboard. But, you know, it just, to me, it'd be interesting to know, you know?
Yeah, the settings that Lamas has for the keyboard are phenomenal, because he's got his input momentum, his dampening, like there's so many different, we're riding on board here with Austin the Plan here now, but you know, so many settings on the controller side of things and also inside the game can really you could really tweak your controller of choice.
Yep.
Oh, looks like Miguel is around.
First caution for the night, but I'm just going to bring up the fact that he's around, but no caution.
He's around,
yet.
no caution. Did he saved
RJ Bishop was able to get by Drew Fast. Now, we've seen Drew Fast drifting up a little bit. I would say, just me, my own opinion of it, but I would say that he's pretty much just overdriving it a little bit. So RJ Bishop was able to go by him. Jonathan Peavy is great at getting by him right now as we speak. So he's worked his way up into the 4th. Unfortunately for Drew Fast, is back there in the 5th spot right now.
Chose to save, to just keep the yellow flag in their pocket on that one.
Noah Hart back there in the 6th position. Kind of running by himself. Looks like right behind him is got Joseph Landy Pavillon. So he's cruising along there in the 7th spot. Remember though, this is an admin controlled yellow. So if it's a single car spin like that, and they can decide, but no, we're just going to let it go. So.
Yep.
8th place right now. Our buddy Keith Hughes is always giving him a hard time about running road courses and stuff. He'd be higher up there in points other than 4th, but I think he'd be in the points lead, or you'd be giving at least giving Jack Merkel a really good run for his money. But the guy just won't run road courses that much. So, but right now, currently in the 8th position, still not running the Purina Cat Chow car, but we have another car around there. I didn't see who it was in turn 1.
Looks like Carlos Martinez. I just saw that too. I backed up to get on in there. It's still green. Let's see if we can find that. Point of caution, or not caution, just how he got spun around. Maybe he got a little help in the corner. Guys are racing. Oh, he played it safe too. Oh, it was a self spin. He's just coming into the turn. Got a little bit loose, and the back end kicks around. And then he's forced to sit here and wait for an awful lot of cars to go by.
Yeah. Currently in the 9th position is Neves, and it's kind of a cool car. He's got a Mountain Dew car. It's got some pretty cool colors to it. That he's currently running in the 9th position. Right behind him, that would be Carby Edward. He is just kind of cruising around there in the Lexus, and around the 10th spot right now. Just running the Liquid Death car. That was one that Bob Spring liked. And I think you painted that up for him, didn't you? Or somebody painted up the Liquid Death one. I don't remember who did that.
I love Liquid Death as a company just because it's water. That's all it is. Yeah. Just cans full of water. It's like.
Oh, he said that he went out to buy one, and he said nope, it was a little bit too expensive. But
yeah, gotta charge you $6 for a can of water. And you get the white can and it's water. You get the black can. I think it's carbonated, but that's all it is. There's nothing fancy about Liquid Death except for the funny name, and their advertising campaign's hilarious.
We saw Miguel Figueroa have a little bit of an issue there. Just went one lap down to Jack Merkel. Now the 18, I believe. 18 of Kennedy. He just went a lap down as well.
Yeah, Lucas Kennedy, and that's a cool looking car too.
Yeah, it's not bad. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Next Visk up there who started a shotgun on the field tonight. That's Christian Torres. And that's another one of the keyboard racers too. So, that could be some of the guys the keyboards. They do pretty darn good at most tracks. Some of them, when you get to a flat track like this, I can't imagine, the settings and the ability to be able to do well here at a flat track with a keyboard. I can't fathom it. I'm sure Cody Columbus is doing great, but you know what I mean? It's just I just don't see how that would really be as smooth as a wheel.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's as smooth as a wheel, but some guys have used the keyboard for so long, I don't even know if they could switch.
It would be, I'll tell you, I had before I was a paraplegic, I think we used NASCAR Pro Digital 2s, which was the wheel of choice back for, this was before the Momos and all that stuff. When I got, after that, I ended up buying a Thrustmaster made, they called it a NASCAR Sprint wheel, which it had the throttle and brake on the wheel. I bet you at one point I had 28 of them. Kept buying them off of eBay and scavenging parts and just keeping them going, keeping at least one or two going. And then when I switched over to TSW, it was probably a good 3 months before I got back to what I would consider my winning ways, just getting used to a new wheel.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I started out way back in the day with just a joystick, and then moved on to a Wingman Formula Force, and then a Momo, and then now it's like a G29.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 4 one. But
Corona, I hope I said that right, just pitted, so you have we have Austin LaPlante, Lucas Garcia, and Dylan Young. Of course, now I've all made a pit stop, so I would imagine that they've had slid the tires or locked the brakes up. Because remember, this is a track to make speed here. You've really got to kind of drive into the corner and brake, but you got to keep the car underneath you. As we saw, like Drew Fast drifting up a little bit earlier, that's, you know what I mean, that's not keeping the car underneath you, that's driving it in a little bit too hard. But you can't knock him for doing that. You got to be able to get to that edge and stay on that edge, and that's how you're going to be fast here.
Yeah, flat tracks too can, like you said, eat up a lot of tires. And there's no tire limit here in this league. Some weeks we broadcast, they do limit. So it looks like they're getting somewhere between 20 and 25 laps on a set if they're running, right. Let me see now. So the top 22 or so have not pit yet, but everybody seems to be aiming for pit road here.
Yeah, and I would imagine that, like I said, just to give you the perfect example, when we saw Drew Fast, go too far up the track. If you keep doing that, you're going to make the tires angry. You make the tires angry, they're not going to be happy, and you're not going to be going forward. You take a look at Jack Merkel up front, currently leading right now, 24 laps led, going to be the 25th one this time by. He's not abusing those tires, and he's not making them mad. He's just rolling into the corners. This is kind of one of those, you go in, you brake, you let off the gas, and let the car just roll for a little bit, and then you just start rolling back on the gas to come off the corner.
And it's like, if you're smooth, you can go way farther on the tires. And then I find I'm kind of a driver that will lose focus and start chewing them up, trying to drive a little bit too hard. Sometimes it is, if you're super smooth like Jack's doing right now, just coming into the corners, just boom, 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 hitting those points, right? And
on a track like this, absolutely, yep.
Yeah, it's the pattern. Like, the rhythm. I was trying to remember that word that you used before. Yep. It's just that rhythm. If you can get into that, just muscle memory, and you don't need to drive hard. You just need to drive consistently smooth, and it'll take you a lot farther. Like, you look at those other cars had to pit 7-8 laps ago. Jack's still out there on his original set. I mean, so is Josh, so is Bishop, Hart, Nevis, Edward. They're all still out there. A lot of different pit strategies.
And that's the thing. It's all part of the part about being smooth, trying to get, trying to just don't make the tires angry. So. Yeah,
that's a good way to say it. There's Phil Parker back there in 12th, the number 84 of Lamas. Carrillo in the 50. Dorsey in the 6th and 10th spot. Paulo Vitor, another Monster Energy car. You can tell these guys are they're teammates when they have the same car but the different colors. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Matt McIntyre.
Say Garcia's good. Next victim, I believe, to go a lap down, but I think I don't got to take a look here. He's still got a little ways before Jack Merkel catches up to him. Sorry about that. I had a quick little phone call. I guess apparently I got a job to do. Cool. I kind of have this thing I do. I shouldn't say it online too much, but we'll just say we'll just call it gasket matching.
Oh, okay.
Probably there's a buddy of mine that his throttle stuck on his Ridge Runner, and he ended up piling into the fence, and we literally cut that car up. Somebody gave him a car the same year, same everything, and we've been working on trying to get that back on the track for him. And probably the guy that has the garage where he's keeping it wants some work done on the head. So.
Yeah, because you're retired, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. So you're just like full-time race car mechanic.
Go-kart racer first. I fix computers, fix RC trucks, fix and build race cars, I fix lawnmower. That's
Anything.
we got a race coming up here on a Wednesday night for RTG, and it's going to be the Road and Smack Shop 150 at Martinsville. And Road and Smack Shop is me. That's just me. I fix putter. I keep busy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just keep on moving. Trying to find a second place car here. It turns out it's RJ Bishop. He is 11 seconds behind Merkel. There's a lot of cars between those two guys. I'm thinking, where is second place? There he is, right there.
Yeah. So being in second, though, yes. The downside to it is, he's in second and he's 11 seconds back. Now, if you're racing Jack Merkel and you're second to Jack Merkel, there we go. RJ Bishop's headed down pit road this time by.
And that ticker is great. Like this ticker we're using here doesn't mimic. It doesn't mimic a real life ticker at all. This one just came with the software, and I'm a big fan of this thing because it keeps the top 5 across the top.
I have a caution out.
Yeah, the caution is out. Just as Bishop came onto pit road too, so he will be allowed to get service.
May still get an end along this line penalty though, because if he was not in his pit stall, I think it will still give you an end along line penalty, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
But the other thing too is if he can get in and out quick enough,
it won't matter.
And if
he would have to serve it like now, but then if he's at the end of the longest line and then everybody in front of him goes, he can stay where he ends up.
He would still be. He would be. Right now, currently, there is only 8 cars on the lead lap. So, kudos to these guys. 32 laps without a caution. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's very good.
So, the 2 drivers that are going to go around, and that's going to be Christian Torres, and the 86 is, I think it's Joseph Landy Pavillon. No, 86 is, hold on.
I thought that was Mercurio.
Mercurio. Yep, Josh Mercurio. Sorry, see, I'm looking right at him too. It's just one of those days. I tell you, I got to take a drink here in a minute because that's my problem. But anyways, him and they might be the lucky dogs is Tris and Torres. So that'll put 2 more cars back on the lead lap. Now they're probably, we know Mercurio, he's probably a lap down due to the fact that he pitted. So, probably just a little bit different strategy. Hey, the race seems like it was going green. Maybe jump in there, get fresher tires. Use those fresher tires to get up, a little bit ahead of the guys when they do their pit stop.
27 of Phil Parker being shown black flag. Now, he's in the box getting service. Will they hold him for the penalty, or will he have to come back around?
Depends if it's a speeding penalty
or...
Yeah, it depends on if it's a speeding penalty or if it is a passing penalty. I mean, there's 2 different penalties.
Under yellow, you can't pass under yellow.
Right. This is one of those tracks that it's fairly easy to do when someone's going down pit road. If a car that's on the outside, so I tell people this all the time, and some people just don't get it, but if you're staying out, as soon as you realize them guys are pitting, you just take off, you go up to the next car, be it the pace car or whoever it is that stayed out. And you're never going to get anybody black flagged for that. But if you lag back and they end up pulling down and hitting the line on the entrance of pit road before you do, you know what I mean? They end up getting a black flag. So I always have been a big one talking about how you need to just, if you're staying out, go.
Right.
Lights are out on the pace car right now. Jack Merkel. I was just looking to see. Nobody got to lead a lap while he was out there. Currently, I believe we have only 10 cars. Oh, no, we gained a few. We had a few wave arounds and stuff there. So, and look at that. Noah Hart on the outside. He's been running pretty stout there. Not up front, but then, of course, RJ Bishop. He's probably got an end along this line penalty. So, but still, he got his tires. He's good to go.
Whole bunch of black flags coming up right now. That's just got to do with the side-by-side restarts. Are we 3 wide right there? Why not, eh, boys?
And that's the thing. That's the hardest thing about an admin when they do the side-by-side restarts. It's so easy to be able to jump a little bit. The inside line goes more than the outside line does, and you get ahead of the guy, you know what I mean, and then you get a black flag for it. And it happens, but they clear them.
And I wonder because like Phil and Lucas Kennedy had a black flag before the green came up. So I wonder if his might have got cleared without having to serve it, because they would have just lumped it in with.
Could be. Well,
you know,
you've heard me talk about. You've heard me talk about how we had a league. Chris Elliott and I ran a league on Tuesday nights, and it was the Cup Series, original car tracks, and it was basically you got whatever the game says goes. So in other words, you don't clear black flags. You know what I mean? You don't do anything. You go out and race.
Yep.
And we lost a lot.
The original way the game was built. That's how we're gonna play.
Yep. And there's no lucky dogs. There was no nothing. So there was no. Basically, it's almost, other than being an admin over to AOR, American Online Racing, because they're computer controlled everything, which is crazy cool.
Yeah.
But it's an admin's dream. The green flag drops and you don't have to worry about anything or whatnot. And we lost a lot of drivers from that. And I explained to Chris when we were doing it, I said, you know why you're losing drivers? And he's like, why? And I said, for years, and this is back in the Talladega Nights era, they would do the double file restart. And then, of course, if somebody, got passed too much too quick, and, we just talked about how that worked, they'd get a black flag. Well, there's a lot of drivers out there, that would maybe duck down pit road. They'd pass the guy that's on the outside of them. They don't care. On a restart, they're going to get their black flag cleared. And so they were doing...
race it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's, it's probably not really legit, but that's what they were doing. And a couple of those guys complained because we wouldn't clear their black flags. Well, they got black flags for intentionally speeding down pit road, and then expected it to be cleared. No.
And it's hard to break the habits, because even ASR on Saturdays, they race back to the yellows, where most leagues will stop that. And you got to remember, we're racing back. Guys are lifting because you're just so used to lifting.
That takes a little bit to get used to. Every time I don't race there that much, but when you do race there and they do that, it takes a little bit to get used to, because like you said, every league that I've ever been with, it's all no racing back till 10 to go. And then of course, then you get sometimes you get penalties, from that. You're opening it up and saying race back, but then you turn around and saying, well, no, you hit this guy. Well, I was racing back. You know what I mean? Right. So, but yeah.
It's kind of like up to 50-50, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, well, what do you expect, You're trying to go for it, and there's no rule against it, so you just kind of push that line until you find the breaking point, I guess.
Just look back there, Noah Hart. He's still back there in the second. He's losing the ground a little bit, but he's trying to keep Jack Merkel honest, but he just can't quite get through the corners quick enough to stay right with him. Currently, he's like 0.7. Now it's he messed that last corner up. So
I'm just kind of floating around in the field here, just currently locked onto Steph Thomas in the 45. Austin LaPlante right behind him.
Paulo Vitor there, he's currently running 16th. I think he is a lap down. Yes, he is. So he was probably one of the early pitters that got caught up in a lap down. Although, you can't say too much about Jack Merkel. He's, setting him up and knocking him down. So he's really, on a tear out there. But
yeah, Merkel is definitely the one to beat tonight.
RJ Bishop, we saw him go back to the end of the longest line. Now he's still a little ways, he's still 6 seconds away from Jack Merkel, but he's up to 5th. So he's made his way through a few of the cars and has worked his way back into a 5th place position. We get another caution before he has to pit again. He could be a threat. He's, pretty quick out there. He's turning some pretty good lap times.
Listening, I'm in the cockpit right now with the 91 of RJ. The rolling it into the corner with no throttle is amazing.
Yeah, but you have to.
Yeah.
You know, the way you're really quick. You always talked about like a little bit about trail brake.
Yeah.
If you can trail brake and make it work right, that's how you gain speed here. Just because you're on the brake, but you're on the throttle at the same time. You're on the throttle to keep the thing from spinning out. You're on the brake to slow yourself down, and then you kind of, like I said, right then in the middle, you just kind of let off and just let it coast until you start rolling back on there, and then you got to roll on at the right time before them tires. If you do it too early, them tires get mad and start pushing out.
There's the little track to get right up to this wall through this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the breaking points. That's why I always love this game. It's a simulator for a reason, and it's just awesome how you can, if you like doing the trail breaking thing, if maybe you just want to do a whole bunch of lifting, you can kind of just find your groove and your style and stick to it. And in an open setup situation too, you can tweak everything.
Lucas Garcia just barely came off pit road. Now you wanna kind of get a rough. I mean, we're gonna call it rough idea of what my car looks like. You look at the 502 of Lucas Garcia. It's kind of a similar, but a little different.
Or what? What do you mean? The paint job? Okay.
Paint scheme will give you a really close idea of what my new men's cup car looks like.
Oh, okay, cool.
Got it from the side view of it there.
Yeah, so
take
this
the white off the nose. And my car is very similar to that.
And did Sullins build yours?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I built one for Robert Spring there. He sent me, same thing, he was on GPT, and he was throwing some stuff through it. And he goes, oh, that's cool. And the same thing, he kind of used it. You're not going to use AI to just make your car for you. That's kind of lame. But to use it as a sketch pad, really.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Hey, man, can you do this? I'm like, yeah, I can make that. So then I took the screenshot, put it on a second monitor, and I built that thing from scratch off of that reference shot. It's no different than going on Google and looking up, Dale Earnhardt's car that he used to roll in 1987. Like, it's no different than doing that. You just have a reference photo. And ChatGPT is pretty neat. And it's pretty good at coming up with stuff and a little bit of artistic freedom, too.
I just handed it to Rodney Sullins and said, hey, this, I like this, but I want, that, I want the 19. I always do the Red Bull font, just something I've always liked. And, and he just did a phenomenal job. And he was like, well, it's going to be a little while. I'm painting up cars. I believe it might have been for some of the cars for the Mega Marathon race that we had this last weekend. I'm not really sure, but the next thing I know, boom, it was done. And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, I sent all the cars. I made all the cars for that race, I'm pretty sure. Because Jeff contacted me, and so did Keith a while back, saying, hey, you made these cars? I'm like, yep. You want them? Because I had like 80 of them. It was, take your pick kind of thing.
Austin the plant, I think he blew a right front tire. Looks like that. Almost got turned around. Without a right front tire, she don't turn so good. So he was trying to get down pit road. Kind of couldn't really get off the track because the car just wouldn't turn. And a car behind him almost clipped him and spun him around. But I was able to miss him. I was looking at Christian Torres there a little bit. Got that lap back, and he was able to, make a little bit more better work out of it, currently sitting in the 11th position, so that helped him out quite a bit.
Yeah, took that right front. We were able to get down there and see that.
Just looking at Thomas's car, the 54, looks like he's got a little bit of rear end damage on the car, so he might have backed it into the fence.
54?
55, sorry.
55, okay, take a look at it.
45, 45.
45.
I kind of like it's there, then it's not. So I'm kind of worried about. I saw Matt McIntyre's overdrove that corner. How did he keep that off the fence? He went in a little too hard, and he went all the way up to the edge of the fence and was able to keep it from hitting the fence. So that was a pretty good drive.
45 of Steph looks clean.
Okay. Still, mine, it keep. See, I'm seeing some of them talking, you know, like it's changing, so it's something to do, I guess, graphic-wise. You got to fix something, but. Cody Lamas, we talked about him being the keyboard master. They're currently running in the 11th position. You know, still hanging in there. Like I said, even running a keyboard, this guy's amazing at flat tracks. Phil Parker tonight, filling in for Matt. Yep. Snyder.
Oh, for Mark,
I think it's
Mark Snyder.
Mark Snyder. Matt, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Matt. Mark
Right,
Snyder.
27, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because Mark
Currently sitting in the
unfortunately had
ninth.
to take the rest of the season off to deal with some stuff, so he's
Hopefully
doing all
he's
right.
doing well. Yeah.
Until it's a
Phil
Kia,
Parker.
it's a Snyder mobile.
Yeah, Phil Parker's over in their ninth position right now, so doing really good. Won't help Mark up for the overall points, but it helps him out in the driver's points. I think it was last year when we did this, they had like the top 30 in points were automatically in. I think then this year they took that away, and I don't know if they're going to go back with that, but that's kind of a cool concept. They do that at RTG. First 3 races, you know, if you're in the top 30 in points, you're automatically in for the first 3 races. And I tried real hard to get myself in there. I think I finished 32nd in points, so I'm going to have to race my way in for a little while.
Yeah. Focusing on Noah Hart there. He's currently in second. In front of him is Udo Neves. Neves is 2 laps down. Drivers that have retired from the race this evening: Benjamin Snyder, Carlos Martinez, Matthias Yankee, Mika Curry, and Gustavo Carrillo. Is Dylan Young still running? Because he's 43 laps behind, but it's reporting that he's still running, which I doubt. No, he is not. So Dylan Young looks like he is also retired.
Yeah, it says that he's pitting, but
For me, it says running. So I guess
Just
it's yeah. Yeah, see it in mine.
Christian Torres went around there, and I believe that to be turn 2. Caution as of yet. He was just spun down into the grass a little bit, and then just come right down on the apron. He's back up and running. But
Yeah, it's a very, very clean race so far. I mean, the accidents we've seen have been minor. You know, just self spins and no catastrophes. For some of them, we've only had 1 yellow for 3 laps. Yeah, 1 yellow for 3 laps. There's another crazy stat. How many lead changes have we had? 2. We've only had 2 lead changes. So Faitasa has 1 lap led, and Jack Merkel has the rest.
Yeah, we call that a little
insane.
bit of domination.
Holy
I see
moly.
Austin the Plant I just looking to see where he was. He was 5 laps down. Unfortunately, had that flat tire. Took him a while, I'm sure, to get down to pit road, and so he lost a few laps there. But he's right on the rear bumper of Jack Merkel, falling right down there with the newer tires that he's got. You know, he was able to stay right with him. So
With Faitasa, the only other driver on the track to lead a lap had led 1. We said 62 laps led by Merkel. Merkel does have an 8.5 second gap on second place too. So.
I think it. You look at, was it Hart? You said was in second.
Yes.
Noah Hart's currently 8th in points. So, and you look at you got Jonathan PV currently running in 9th. Paulo Vitor, we talked about him a little while ago. He is 12th. Keith Hughes is 15th. And let's see here, Allison Rodrigo. I don't know if is Allison in there today? I don't know if I've seen him. Yep, he's 5th currently. So he's kind of got them all covered.
Yep. Focus on it right now.
See it running the very, very high line, letting the leader through. The 73 of Cora, if I'm saying that right. It's got put a lap down. Jonathan Peavy, we were just talking about Jonathan Peavy being where? 14th, and he is in of going a lap down. Again.
Oh, you're saying like 73 of Victor Correa?
Correa, that's it.
Yeah, Correa.
Sorry, I took a week off and I didn't, forgot names.
Yeah.
Jonathan Peavy looked in that rear view mirror. He saw that DuPont Chevrolet coming. I think he reached down and grabbed a hold of that rubber band and started winding it up because he's on the move now. He just passed Kennedy. He's trying to get away from Jack Merkel because he does not want to go any more laps down. I think he's currently 1 lap down. So he's trying to stay where he is. Not sure he's in a great position for getting the lucky dog back, but because right now we only have 7 cars on the lead lap. You could call that kind of a domination, I guess.
Yeah.
Merkel really, really is good at these flat tracks. They'll probably have to, bring him in, and tech the car, pull every nut and bolt, everything apart on that, make sure he's not running, nitrous or something in that thing.
Yeah. I was just reading the chat there in the YouTube chat. Matthias Yankee lost 4th gear last race for the white Camry. I'm coming in with a brand new car next week. That'll be cool. Looking forward.
Nice.
And Robert Spring. Wow, the 4 car is very wobbly, he says. Yeah, the 4 car uses keyboard. So the reason for the wobbliness compared to the 84 of Lamas, who also uses a keyboard, is just there. I say it all the time. We talk about there's a setting in the game, in the controls for input momentum. Now, if you were running a wheel, it's just going to be set at 0. But if you're using a keyboard, you need to adjust the input momentum because the keyboard is just you're either pressing the key or you're not. So you can't have your steering wheel snap. If you push your left button, you can't have your steering wheel going directly left instantaneously. You're just going to spin out. Right. So that's where you can adjust your input momentum to kind of ease into it. The 4 car probably just has it set a little bit more sensitive. Where Lamas has figured out how to smooth it. He's found a number that's a lot smoother.
I tell you, I'm surprised that these guys aren't, bugging Cody Lamas about it, going, hey, come on, what are you doing? How you got yours set up? Because he is very, very smooth on that keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the fact of having to tap the key or having to kind of tap it, release it, tap it, release it, where Torres is more just tap, 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 tap for the fine tuning.
Yeah, I tried that once.
Honing that setting is a big one.
I tried that once at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Didn't have all the settings. I just had the straight up regular keyboard. I didn't have a right front tire for very long. No.
Yeah.
It was hard, and that's why I say it amazes me that these guys can go as well as they do. And I can see now why I didn't realize Allison Rodrigo was out there, because usually he's got a bright green car. We got some takers on pit road here.
Look at this. Jack Merkel has lapped every single car except for Faitasa and Rodrigo in 3rd and 2nd place.
Yep.
And we're looking at both of them right now. We're looking at Rodrigo and we're looking at Faitasa in the yellow. Everybody else is a lap down thanks to Jack.
He's 26 seconds ahead of him. So
yeah, which is basically they're running 30-second laps.
But you also got to figure too. A lot of the ones there, people have been making pit stops. So as soon as Allison Rodrigo just hit pit road. But you've got to figure
there's Tate Dorsey, our track guy. Oh, he's drifting.
I tell you though, I don't know if I like the way Allison Rodrigo pulled into the pit. He did it from the backstretch, right down to the apron. He's going to lose a lot of time.
I saw that too. Yeah, thinking, he's going into the pits. I'm like, where's the pits? Because he went in one turn early, but maybe he's redlining a bunch of tires too. He might have just been taking it easy. Playing it safe. Dorsey too, by the way, had to do a last-minute track change because we were trying to load the track and it wasn't working. I guess they found a pothole in the front straightaway or something.
Yeah, I said, "Hey, you should try it. It might have been interesting." Mm-hmm. I was just noticing that when I looked over there at GNL TV that Tate was in there. We had, earlier didn't see him in there, and he's the guy that we would have wanted to talk to. But like I said, we asked Jonathan PV if he knew what was going on. He was able to get us in the right direction and get us the right track so we could do it. But Allison Rodrigo just pulled right out in front of him with the fresh tires. Look, yellow flag is out. This is going to change. It's the only one out there on the lead lap.
Yeah.
This is going to be, wow. You just think about it like this. If everybody decides they're going to take a wave around. Some of them, we know Allison Rodrigo now, I believe, I'm trying to figure out.
No way.
It's 2 laps down.
Jack's going to have to pit, though. He has to. It's closed.
Oh, he has to pit. But if he does, what I'm getting at is let's say he pits and the whole field is in front of him. You know, I don't think they can type that fast. So they'll probably, what they'll have to do, I'm guessing, I don't run the league, but I'm just thinking I've seen leagues do this before. If you end up getting in a scenario like that where there's so many cars, you literally will, when it goes green, you don't go green. They just cruise around slowly and allow the admins to clear all the black flags. But we'll have to wait and see. We do believe that Jack Merkel will make a trip down pit road.
Comes. Yep, the flag. We just watched the flag man put the green back up, opening pits.
The other car that came down with him is Phil Parker.
There's another flag guy down here. Where is
M. Scully. Scully's on pit road as well.
Running lights on the pit exit. So the red light means the packet's going by, and anybody who goes through there will be penalized.
Only 3 cars pitted on the first time around. Now, and Matt Scully was 6 laps down, so this might be what they call a quickie yellow. I don't know.
It's possible, yeah, because they're not. We're going to go back and take a look at it there. So Jack Merkel is definitely going to the pits. So now we're going to see. Here, stare at the schedule. We'll go back and find a point of caution. The easiest way for me to do that is just put a rewind and look at the emergency vehicles track side until the lights stop flashing.
Okay, so I wasn't paying attention at the time. So Phil Parker, and I believe it should be Noah Hart, but I'm not positive. They're going to be the lucky dogs. So they're allowed to, go in, pit, take 4 tires. They go around and come out. They're going to be in the longest line, but they're going to be on the longest line with the back on to the lead lap. And they're going to have 4 fresh tires, so that'll help them quite a bit.
So it looks like Uder Neves was involved, Josh Mercurio, and Keith Hughes. Oh. Uder might have actually cut a tire down. That car turned right in a hurry.
So looking at the scoring as they crossed the line the last time by, so we know that Phil Parker and Noah Hart were the lucky dogs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 cars. Well, it could be more. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how many cars stayed out. You know what I mean? They stayed out. So
Keith Hughes be showing black flag. Is the stream still going? It just went dark on my screen.
Looks good on my screen so far, but of course, remember, I'm about a few seconds behind you.
Yeah, it says everything's A-okay over here, but it looks like, oh yeah, it looks like it's still running.
Okay, so the lights are off on the pace car. We do have 6 cars now on the lead lap. None of them, well, actually, I'm not sure how he got up there, but Phil Parker is on the outside, on the front row.
Yeah. Yep, it's showing him in second place, Phil Parker.
Not sure how he got up there. Noah Hart's back there, and buried in the field back there, but
oh, Phil's disappearing. There he goes. Most of the field's still a lap down, too.
Yeah, Cody Lamas is the first car that's 1 lap down. He's currently in the 3rd position on the track. He would love love to have Jack Merkel just push up and let him go and get out there. Whoop. Lamas just went back, so that
7th. Yeah, he's being billed in 7th. Something's going on. Yeah.
Well, it moved Noah Hart up there, so maybe they have a little bit different way of doing a lucky dog. The green flag is out. Jack Merkel on it. He is launched and gone. Parker's there in second, coming down to the groove, bottom lower groove there, and you've got R.J. Bishop, Noah Hart, Jonathan Peavy, and the 92 of Kirby Edwards is the only cars. That's the top six cars that are only on the ones on the lead lap at current time.
Every car on the track right now has a black flag except for 4. This is an admin nightmare.
Well,
Clear
I think
these
a lot
flags, you know. Holy moly.
I think a lot of it is that those guys, there was a bunch that stayed out, you know,
Oh, Cody Lamas goes around.
I was going to say, still under green flag conditions.
Yeah, all by himself, so they left the green up.
I don't know. That would have been a hard one to do, you know, just trying to get all those ones cleared up. I do know a guy that literally had a program that did that. I don't remember something he built, and you could literally, he would hit a button, and he could just say numbers, and it would clear the black flags.
Say numbers, like speak them.
Yep.
So it was voice activated.
This is one of those guys over to AOR. He was one of the guys.
I was going to say, it sounds like an AOR thing, because they've got a completely automated server over there that runs.
They do now, but before they got that point, he would, if he was racing that night, they would say, all right, you know, we got a bunch of black flags to clear, and he would just write all down real quick, like, and have it right there in front of him. And as soon as the green flag had come out, he would just go right down through the numbers. He would just 27, 020, 04, 68, and it would just clear the black flags. It's kind of a cool program.
Amazing.
Those guys over there are crazy. I mean, between Caleb and Jeff Trowbridge is, you know, most of the mastermind behind it, but he had a lot of help with, you know, a little bit with Caleb helping him out, and that setup they got over there is just incredible.
And that's the thing with this community. Like, look at how look at how good this game still looks, and that's all thanks to the community. Look at these tickers we're running. This is brand new within the last few months. Last week, a new car viewer came out for the paint shop guys, which it's a 700 megabyte download, because it's not just a car viewer. It's a paint booth.
Really?
It's a photo booth, so you can like put backgrounds in and control your aperture on your camera lens and stuff. Like, it's actually got like a camera settings.
And why am I just hearing about this now?
I said to Rodney, I'm like, bro, do you paint?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called NASCAR Racing Series or Roster. NASCAR Racing Roster.
Are under yellow flag conditions.
Editing, something like that. I'll send you the link. It's phenomenal. Yeah. All you have to do is use Photoshop.
I Paint Shop Pro.
Okay, me too. So I have to do kind of one extra step. But like in Car Viewer, you would have to save, and then you have to go to Car Viewer and you click refresh, and it would refresh, and you could see your changes. So now you just save, and it updates automatically. So you don't have to go to the program. You don't ever have to touch it. You just you put it on your other screen, and then you just work with it. If you run Paint Shop, like Rodney does, you can load your PSD file into it. And you don't need to do anything, because as you're working in Photoshop, it's updating live, because it's all auto saving, right?
Yeah.
It's always pulling from that file to see any updates, and it'll just do it for you. Oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. And you can actually load up rosters. So I could go, Men's Cup 19. What roster do you want? Oh, I'm going to use my Talladega Challenge roster. And it'll actually load all the cars on that roster. And it's pretty nuts. So that thing just came out. You've got these guys over at AOR doing the whole behind-the-scenes automated thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's never ending with all the stuff these people are putting out. NR ratings, that's another little program that's great for adjusting the ratings for the cars. Every time I paint a car for someone, I run it through NR ratings and do a randomized thing, so it's not just 40, 40, 40, 40.
Yep.
So if you were to run an AI race, it would actually, you
I know
would
what you
just
got.
have John Godfrey with a maximum 100 right across the road driving away from everybody.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Well, because I use the AI a lot too for replays sometimes.
So Tim, the top 6 did pit the first time by. We are going to probably see a load of black flags. There was quite a number of cars that stayed out, so that puts them at the tail end of the longest line, and it allows them to go past the pace car, come back around to the edge of the pack. That's like we did last time. There'll be a bunch of them that'll be back either on the lead lap. As of right now, it looks like we're going to probably have about 14 or so. So that's, going to put a lot more cars back on the lead lap. That could change once this comes around. Pace car lights are off. We're headed down into turn 3.
Those drivers that we were looking at were exactly what Rod was talking about. They were the wave around cars, so they were allowed to either lucky dog or wave around their way back around.
And we got the control car now is Jack Merkel outside RJ Bishop. Noah Hart been right up there all night, and Carby Edwardson fourth. Jonathan Peavy, I don't know what the rule is there. It looks like he jumped out of line a little too soon, but then again, they didn't have that rule here. Peavy, of course, he's right there second in points, trying to just salvage as much as he can. We've got about 35 laps left to go. We saw him go at least we saw Jack Merkel go that distance early on, so that's why Jack would pit, because he should be able to go from here to the end, should go green flag all the rest of the way. Go over to GNL TV, and there is about, I would say pretty close to 15 cars that are black flags, and they're getting cleared as we speak. This is going to make it, like I said, they're going to be real busy tonight doing that, and now all the black flags are cleared.
Yeah, they were all there, now they're all gone.
Ooh, and that was a new one. I've not seen that happen yet tonight. Jack Merkel overdrove turn 3 and 4 this last time by.
Yeah.
You'll have it on I look over and you're riding with this car, and you will see him overdrive the corner a little bit, drift up. That let RJ Bishop catch right back up to his rear bumper. So we don't see Jack Merkel making too many mistakes. So that was the first chink in his armor of 91 laps?
Yeah, and he's led 91 of them. There's 34 left. And that's unbelievable. Still, even after pit cycles, Bartosa is still the only other driver to lead one lap.
Yeah.
The rest of them are all on Jack.
The thing of it is, it's because they know there's so many cars. If you pit, you stay out, and then when you come back, you go in and do it, you might be way in the back. So, you don't want to try to stay on the same strategy as Jack Merkel. So I'm just watching Jack.
Might have done it again, yeah.
I think he also could be just a little bit thinking this might go green the rest of the way. He's kind of conserving.
Gotcha. Because RJ's right on him. We're on board with RJ right now.
RJ is, I think, driving a little harder than he is. They'll keep that up for the next, probably 20 laps or so, and then all of a sudden, you're going to see Jack Merkel just kind of pull away if RJ is in fact, just trying to get out there and get that lap led. So,
and it's a weird thing, but I believe that Jack Merkel is this diabolical. He will allow RJ to stay this close. Right now, RJ's using up a lot of stuff trying to get around him, and like you said, Jack will just start to pull away.
Coming up that corner, pushing, trying to get on the throttle a little bit sooner to see if he can get up there and at least try to get that lap led.
Mm-hmm. But he's going to burn off those tires a lot faster too, and Jack knows that. Because when you are that close to somebody, all you want to do is pass them, and then you're going to start making mistakes.
Yep.
If you're unprofessional like me, RJ's way better than I am. So.
RJ's a pretty good little shoe. But, like you said, that wily old, Jack Merkel, he's always thinking ahead, so he might be just pacing enough to save the tires enough so that he can go the whole distance without having a problem. We just see Garcia, the 502 Garcia, right front flat, headed down pit road.
Oh no. Oh wow. So they can't get Jack underneath the car because the tire's flat.
Jonathan Peavy currently running in third. Keith Hughes up there in the 4th position. So Noah Hart still continuing his good run tonight, still currently in the top 5, currently in 5th, and Kirby Edwards. Allison Rodrigo's having a good run tonight, currently in 7th. So Alabal Vitor 8th. Phil Parker subbing for Mark Snyder. He is in the 9th position and rounding out your top 10 right now. It's 86 of Josh Mercurio.
It's back there. Pretty good gap. But, you know, RJ's still right there with Jack. 13 cars on the lead lap. Last retired driver was Gustavo Carrillo. That was 62 laps ago, so there hasn't been anybody forced out since then. It's a pretty good race. I mean, we never know what's going to happen at a flat track. They grip it up a lot, but sometimes that'll kill tires. But these guys have been running good. Bunch of self spins, and we had 4 cautions tonight.
Like Curry, that's an interesting one. Engine gearbox. It says him and Matthias Yankee says engine gearbox. So I'm guessing what happened is they lost a gear, which over-revved the engine and blew the engine.
Right.
That's got to be what that means, right?
Matthias did say in the YouTube chat that he lost 4th.
Yeah.
And he's parking that hunk of junk and bringing a new car in for the rest of the season.
I tell you, running around here and with this setup in 3rd gear, you wouldn't last long. You'd be winding that motor just way too much, and even if you were trying to lift, it would still be quite abusive on it. Looks like the yellow flag is back out.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can find it. We should also do a full blast before we go, which means everybody gets to crank their stereos. Yeah, Ben likes that stuff, so I just totally remembered that right now.
Looks like your top drivers all headed down pit road. All the way down to Christian Torres. He's still on the lead lap. Very good. He stayed out or... that's Drew Fast is coming down pit road. So your lucky dogs is going to be Cody Lamas and Tate Dorsey, the first cars that are 1 lap down. So they might do it a little differently, the lucky dog part of it, because they're allowing the lucky dog to pit on the first time by.
Okay. Yeah, usually that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I think maybe some of the reasoning for that is they can get out, and I'm watching Tate Dorsey right now. He's gone out already past all of the drivers that he was that were in front of him. So, and he what we call an unsafe exit, which means he didn't.
Because of the yellow bump and run there, it didn't look like they made any contact. Oh, maybe. Oh, wow.
Wow! I tell you, we're gonna. Tate Dorsey right now is... I don't know if I like that idea, but that's their rules is their rules. Tate Dorsey should have been, and I think it was Cody Lamas should have been the lucky dogs. Okay. They should be allowed to go first, and then once they go, then all of the cars that are a lap or more down should go. And as Tate and Cody Lamas was trying to get up to the front to get out in front of it, they all went. So we're going to see on GNL TV a whole lot more black flags again, as a bunch of the cars are using this to get back on the lead lap, or because right now the way it's showing is going to be 17 cars on the lead lap.
What Rod's talking about too when he says GNL TV, we're running software behind the game so that we can actually see other statistics like laps led and black flags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got a new one I'm using, Project Steelfire, but it's the same information. Mine's a little bit quicker because it's newer stuff, but it's pretty awesome, the tools that we have.
Pace cars on pit road. Jack Merkel with a great launch. Jonathan Peavy on the outside. R.J. Bishop right there back in the third on the inside. Keith Hughes, Noah Hart, and Paulo Vitor there's 6th place driver. Now, like I said, it went to 17 cars now in the lead lap. The downside for them guys, probably they're hoping for like a long play result. Getting back on the lead lap may help them out a little bit. Maybe a caution comes out, and then they're able to go down and get tires. When you stay out and be the end of the longest line driver, you're not allowed to pit. So you got to go out and go back to the back of the pack with the tires that you have on the car. So a quick caution, that's what they're hoping for, will allow them to go down pit road and get 4 tires.
Robert Spring in the YouTube chat. Last night, a car retired for an oil leak. Never seen that one before. Yeah, I've never seen oil leak, yeah.
I've seen a fuel tank leak. Go in. I've seen people. It never happened to me.
Really? Like
yeah.
on the stats, it actually says fuel tank leak.
Well, they would go in and they would pit, and they would put 22 gallons of fuel in it, and then as they're leaving pit road, next thing you know, it's down to 21, 20, just dropping, and they're like, "What's going on?" And they end up having a fuel leak.
No way.
Yeah,
I've never seen that. I've played this thing for 23 years and never
only seen it
it
a couple times.
That's awesome.
Keith Hughes currently running in the 4th position. I was just watching him wheeling that thing through turn 3 and 4. They're trying to salvage some pretty good points tonight.
I remember one time I was racing and I was having tire issues. I was having to pit like every 4 laps for right side tires because my right front would just fall apart. Every time I put a new one on, it would be gone in 4 laps. I don't know what's going on, guys. Like, you're having tire problems. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. So it's the same kind of thing. For some reason, I drew the short straw that day. And one tire was just falling apart.
They gave you the tires that they ran at Indy.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if in real life, if you had a piece of sheet metal rubbing on that tire, you'd be coming in. And that's probably what was happening. I just drew the short straw and had tire issues that race, and it was brutal.
Only 14 cautions, 4 cautions for 15 laps tonight. We're creeping up on here to about 15 to go. This race is going to be over before you know it. Fastest lap, no surprise, that is Jack Merkel at a 29.859. That is 127 miles an hour, 127.510 miles per hour. Excuse me, I need to take a drink.
Oh, lion. Yeah, 29.8. Most of these guys here I'm looking at now, we got Jonathan Peavy. His best lap is 30 seconds even, 30.007. 29.952 is R.J. Bishop's fastest lap. So yeah, that's an easy 1/10 of a lap, or a 1/10 of a second faster on that fastest lap. Call him Jack.
And something that you brought up, you should probably be bringing it back up, but I'll do it for you. Okay. Jack Merkel's led 108. It's going to be 109 this time by, and the only other driver, as you said, the 46 of, how do you say his name, Fentosa?
Fitosa, yeah, Yanni Fitosa in the 46. One lap. All the rest of them, Jack. You're looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
Complete domination. Yeah, 15 laps ago, Merkel with the fastest lap tonight.
I was just looking down through. We have 4 drivers. That's Benjamin Snyder, Carlos Martinez, Matthias Yankee, and Mika Curry. That did never got a chance to get a pit stop in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
just
Jack's
having
got
luck.
4. Some guys have only had 3.
Highest, Tate Dorsey's got 5.
Paulo Vitor drew fast.
Matt McIntyre's got 6. Matt Scully's got 5 as well. So there's a few. They're all, we always used to call him the Bunny Rabbit. We'll start calling Jack Merkel the Bunny Rabbit.
Chase him.
That's what we used to call Megan. We used to call her the Bunny Rabbit. And she'd go, "Why you call me the Bunny Rabbit?" I said, "Because we're the dogs chasing after you."
Everybody's following you. Yep.
Really, really wish she would come up this year before the season's over, so I know I'm probably about a couple of tenths of a second off her times, but I would just love to see her come back up and race with her. I'd probably be able to hang with her a lot better now.
Do you want to go on board with Merkel and do a full blast?
Sure, why not?
Let's do it. Okay, we'll shut our mics off, and then you guys can turn up your TV sound systems for the next couple of laps and listen to this glorious engine sound pack I downloaded for this thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Alrighty then. Yeah, within 10 to go now. We got 9 laps left.
Merkel is definitely putting on a clinic tonight, showing these guys how to get around here. If I was these guys, I would definitely, after this race, I would save this replay and study. And,
Yep.
you know, he's pretty much the only driver. We've seen a few of them do it, but there are not too many of them are down there dropping, you know, 4 wheels down to the bottom of the apron down there like he is at 1 and 2. So
Yeah, it's cool to watch the different lines, you know, especially on these, like right there, yeah, halfway through 1 and 2, he goes right on full apron to come out of that corner.
yeah,
He's been doing that all day. Him and Noah Hart have been doing it pretty consistently all day.
that's just the way that you're, you know, de-wedging the car to make that thing turn better. That's exactly the, you know, what you're looking at.
Yeah, he's using that flat to help him pull himself out of that turn.
We did that at, I think, Modifieds there. We were running Modifieds once at Stafford, I think it was, and there was guys that were doing that. We were going down there just about, you know, clipping the grass with them.
There's some tracks, I can't even think of any of them right now, where you could kind of, if you could hit that point every time, like Phoenix is one of them too, because it's
Yep.
got that big weird transition on the front straightaway. And if you hit it wrong, it's going to throw the car for a loop. But if you can hit it right, it's so satisfying.
You can't do it. We're coming up to 5 to go right now. You can't do it early in the run. You got to wait for the tires to fall off a little bit to where it starts to get a little bit pushy, and then you drive down through there, and it'll make the car turn better.
Ah, okay. Yeah, same thing, right? You're using the wedge
Yep.
to pull your car to the left.
Got currently 16 drivers on the lead lap coming down now. It's going to be 4 to go. Still, only 2 drivers have led a lap. Would you, as you put it, 2 lead changes all night.
Yeah.
I think Merkel's putting a statement on tonight about how I am the current points leader. I am the last season's champion, and you want to come take it away. Ooh, Cody Lamas looks like he's got a flat right front.
Yeah.
Can't take that right side of that car.
Jack was
Got
able to
in
throw
Merkel's way.
Jack was able to throw the anchor out and prevent stuff from hitting him.
Taking a look back
laps
there.
left.
We had RJ Bishop back there in the second spot. Nope, not anymore. Jonathan Peavy has managed to get past him, and currently right now in the second position. Third position is Keith Hughes. So I think, as we talked before about how RJ Bishop was possibly overdriving just a little bit, and that you know, now it's, you know, caught up with him and he's going backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to save your stuff at the end of the run. That's the thing too. Can these guys make it? Like, obviously, yes, but
I think some of them can make it fuel-wise. I'm not sure about tires. We're seeing, you know, we just saw Cody Lamas lose his right front there. So we know Jack Merkel's all good. He's been gentle on them tires. So Because that's the biggest concern would be if you're over burning up your tires. Then unfortunately you don't want to have a caution.
Or a mechanical failure. Like what if he blows a motor right now? You know, the
NASCAR, be pushing in the clutch and hoping I can roll like crazy.
Yeah. Because it'll happen, like, for no reason. You think, oh, you missed a gear and blew the motor. But, like, no, the motor can just let go. You know, that's always a thing. It's always possible. But like we were talking in the chat there, like with somebody getting an oil leak or a fuel leak or wheel problems. Any number of things can happen in here, and it's completely random.
White flag is out. Merkel's got a 4-second lead over Jonathan Peavy and Keith Hughes.
Yeah, not necessarily driver error. The car could just fail.
Oh, yeah. I had that happen under yellow flag conditions. Leading the race, yellow flag came out, went down the backstretch, and the motor blew up.
Yeah, under yellow. You're not even driving hard.
Yeah.
Just, well, camshaft done for. Snap.
Yep. I broke a header. There we go. Jack Merkel hitting the line right now, and he is going to win the New Hampshire race. Jonathan Peavy just crossed the line, and then Keith Hughes. Oh, look at, we got a change. Drew Fast was able to beat Keith Hughes to the line at the last lap there, so we're going to have... Yeah.
That was a photo finish for...
Pretty close, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got him coming out of that last turn. Nice move. Drew Fast on the podium.
Yeah, we get the chance to get interviewed tonight, so it's a great run for him.
Burns it to the ground.
Well, we know he was going to do that, and he's pretty good at it. As he should, though. I mean, he put on a dominant performance tonight, leading 125 laps. One of only 2 drivers to lead a lap tonight. That's pretty wild. He ain't gonna have any tires left by the time he gets done. I think he's done. Can't see his car anymore. Alright, let's see if we can grab Drew Fast and get him up here and get these interviews started. Drew Fast, you got Rod and Blaine live in the Tarnation TV booth. Do you got a copy?
I sure do.
A move there on that last lap to get past Keith Hughes. How'd that happen?
I don't know. That was a race of all time. I was like 2 laps down and 20th at one point.
Well, we saw that you started up there near the front, kind of drifted back a little bit. I saw you kind of overdrive the corners a little bit there in the first couple of laps of the race, and that's not going to help your tires out. Like you said, you ended up getting yourself a couple laps down. Using the good strategy of getting some wave arounds and the lucky dogs, and put some 4 brand new tires on the end of that, and you can manage to come out there in third.
Yeah, I definitely burned the tires up in the first round or first run. Blew a tire, lost a bunch of laps because of it, and then just got some lucky timed wave arounds. There was one wave around where all my tires were yellow, and I just was literally going 2 laps off pace, just trying not to blow my tires for the whole run. That was my only goal. Managed to stay on the lead lap, got a caution at a good time, and yeah.
Then took advantage of those fresh tires to get yourself right back up there. So that's a pretty good job, bud. Blaine, you got a question for Drew? I love catching him off guard.
Oh yeah, you're good. You're a professional off guard guy because I'm saving up all the replays and whatever. But yeah, man, phenomenal race. Did you we were wondering before the race started, this track being the way it is, if it was going to be caution filled or not, and it turned out to be an absolutely phenomenal race. Were you expecting that?
Definitely not. This is not one of the tracks I would think would go mostly green the whole time. So it's a really good race. Glad it did because it was a lot of fun.
That was going to be my follow-up. Yeah, it looked like it was a lot of fun because the cars, the setup was working, the track surface was working. tires are always in question, so it kept it good. Kept it fresh.
It sure did. Yeah, the setup was definitely. You had to play a tire saving game and try not to burn up the right front. That was definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, I found it to be a little bit tight for my liking when I just goofed around and practiced for a little bit, but had to really sit
a
down.
lot of patience. You just had to be patient with it through the turn.
All right, well, congratulations on your third place finish. That should help you a little bit in points. I'll have to take a look at that, but give you a chance to give anybody a shout out or who you'd like to thank or whatnot. The floor is yours.
Just shout out to everybody who keeps these things running. You guys for doing the casting and everything, and everybody who puts these things on.
Like that, short and sweet. You don't even want to thank Mom or nothing like that. Just
I'll thank it. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
All right, congratulations, Drew. Good job, and looking forward. Where we at next week? Echo Park in Atlanta. You any good in Atlanta?
Not sure.
We're not sure yet. We'll find out next week. Then. All right, congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Gotta have fun with them. Come on now. We need this guy here. This is the one that helped us out earlier. Jonathan Peavy, you got Rod and Blaine live in the Tarnation TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah, kind of an up and down night for you as well. Same with Drew. Kind of there. You started up near the front and kind of went back. You got caught up on a couple of pit stops. Got a lap down or so. Got back. Everything seemed to just fall in the right place, and you come out with a second place finish tonight. But unfortunately, that Jack Merkel guy beat you.
Well, I mean, he's got some hacks. I don't know. That's all I got to say. He's. I mean, if you're gonna race here, you're basically racing for second place unless something happens to him. And so that's just kind of the way it is, especially at a track like this where it's tire saving, because I know he can save tires with the best of them.
Now, did you save your replay so you can watch and see what he did?
Yeah.
He was running right down to the bottom on the exit of turn 2, literally all four tires off the track and down onto the apron there. That de-wedges the car a little bit, gave him a good run off of 2. We saw, I think, Noah Hart was another one that was doing it. Not too many drivers were trying that out. You going to be practicing that for the next time if they come back to the same version of track?
Maybe. I did it a little bit in practice, but I just couldn't seem to hit it at the right angle, and I didn't trust myself to be consistent enough with it to actually be able to do it every lap without spinning myself, because if you caught it at the wrong angle, it would send you around.
All right, well, looking at the thing, you've got 1 win on the season, not compared to Jack's now going to be 7.
Yeah.
What do you got? We got 5 races left, but you're gonna be able to do something to knock Merkel off this points lead, or
most likely not. In all honesty, if I'm being completely, I would love to be optimistic about it and say yeah, absolutely, but I don't even know what our next several races are. Let's see, we've got New Hampshire, we got Atlanta in September, we've got 7 races left.
Oh yeah,
I might be able to squeeze something out on him at Talladega or Phoenix or somewhere like Homestead, maybe one of the faster mile and a halves. But I mean, unless he has a power outage like he did last time. But Watkins Glen, for me, I love Watkins Glen and I enjoy road courses, but I know my place on road courses, and it is not in first or second most of the time. It's in the 3rd through 5th.
There you go. Blaine, you have any questions for Jonathan?
Yeah, kind of the same thing I asked Drew. With this being like a flat track, we were kind of wondering what it was going to be like. It ended up being a phenomenal race. Were you thinking different pit strategies, or I'm always curious how that changes coming into it. Like, oh man, this race is going to be caution filled. So you go out there and start driving the thing right down to the cords on the tires. You go, well, we're going green an awful lot here. So then you got to change how much you have to adjust your strategy.
I don't trust Maverick no matter what, so I don't really plan for anything until I see what's going on. If we start wrecking on the first 2 or 3 laps, then I know it's going to be one of those nights. If like tonight, I think we had a 20 lap run to start the race, or a 25 lap run, or something of that nature, and it was a really good run. I got tangled up in in that first segment there with a car that blown a tire coming off of turn 4, and that set me back on tires because it burned my tires up when I spun. So I was a little off sequence until we got those 2 yellows back to back. I was able to get the wave around, get back on the lead lap, and then we got that yellow. I was able to get tires, get back on sequence with everybody, because I was usually about 10 to 15 laps off sequence with everybody else, and it was not going to play in my favor unless we had those yellows. So I am thankful for that in one form or fashion.
So basically the strategy is, well, whatever happens, happens, and we'll worry about it when it gets there.
Pretty much. I never start fast at any track. I don't try to go out there or just go balls to the wall, because you never know. You go full throttle at the at the start of the race and burn your tires up in 10 laps, then you just know that we're going to have a 30 lap run. Whereas if you take it easy and expect a 30 lap run, we're going to wreck every 5 laps.
You're second in points, but hopefully at least you can stay there for the rest of the season. You never know, luck may come your way, and you could maybe get that championship. We'll give you a chance to thank anybody and everybody you'd like to. The floor is yours.
Oh, I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you guys doing the broadcast for us. It's always a good time going back, watching the replay after the races, seeing some of the surprise and hearing some of the surprise and ooh sound effects.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys putting on these races and broadcasting them for everybody. Appreciate Ben putting everything on. And like I've said before, getting a full field. Congrats to Jack on the win. Sorry, dog. I hope he blows a gear next race. But no, other than that, appreciate everybody that made it a good race tonight. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I was able to come home second, and I'm going to try for one position better next race.
There you go, Jonathan Peavy, your second place finisher. Congratulations, bud, and keep the good runs going. I mean, even though you got to think about it, even though you get second place to Jack Merkel, and he is pretty good at this stuff. So, congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Certainly. I was just going to grab Jack Merkel, but unfortunately, he must have had to vacate and get going, because it's not too late, is it? No, we're not too late.
10 o'clock, yeah. I could do a Jack Merkel impression if you want.
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, ask Jack a question.
Jack, you kind of dominated the race tonight, kind of put a hurting on him there. What was your strategy?
Everybody out here is brutal, and I'm the best.
There you go.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Perfect.
Have a good night.
Perfect. Thank anybody?
Thanks, Jack.
Nope. Thank everybody.
No, he's gone. He left. That was crazy. Quick interview.
Yeah, quick interview. Gotta love
character,
it.
that guy.
Yeah. Well, that was a good race. I'm glad to see you. I'd love. I hate to say it that way. I'd love to see more racing like that. That was really good. But they did awesome job. We saw 4 cautions for the whole night. That was great. And we had talked with Austin the Plant earlier, and he was talking about how he thought this thing wasn't going to be it was going to be a caution fest. Look at that. It came out to be a nice race. Do we want to bring Austin up for quick? Heck, let's see if we can get him.
Yeah, I was going to say too. We watch Merkel completely dominate everything, but there was so much good racing all over the track tonight too. Because I didn't really know where to put the camera, because there was battles going on all over the place, and we could focus on a guy, even battle for 20th sometimes, and it was really exciting racing going on all the way around this thing.
Yeah, Austin the Plant, you got Blaine and Rod in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey, Rod, that was a total disaster on my part.
I see you ended up finishing 5 laps down. I noticed once you actually had blown a a right front tire and struggled to. I don't where it blew, but I saw that you headed down pit road, and that just made it a hard night for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I still again with this wheel, I still can't get to the correct settings that I won't be that will get me from not doing that again. But unfortunately, with how how it was set up, the tire wear, grip, and the setup, it was just basically a disaster from the beginning. A lot of people had a bunch of right front tires down and fourth gear blowns because they were shifting in third from fourth. I was fine with that because I had put the automatic clutch a check mark in the option, so I was lucky enough to hoping not happen to me though. But I obviously want to forget about this race now.
Well, you made it through kind of unscathed, I guess. That's the big thing is you didn't get in any trouble. So, but all in all, the racing itself was pretty good. But what do you run for a wheel?
The new G29.
Okay, because I was gonna say you could probably there's a lot of people out there you could talk to that would give you this the settings to make it better.
Well, if they choose to talk to me, because I tend to do dumb stuff.
That happened. I mean, even Blaine, he runs a 29.
Yeah, well, that race happened, which was again, as you said, surprisingly calm race, despite the amount of right front and gear blowns, which Ben was a little shocked about post race. But we have a week off, and I believe we're at Hotlanta the week after that.
How do you run down there, bud?
Well, I don't remember. I think we're still using the old Atlanta configuration, which I prefer that over the SS version. I tend to do here and there, depending on if it's a good setup, and keep my nose clean.
All right. Well, I just figured we'd bring you up, and we didn't get the chance to talk to Jack Merkel, so I figured we'd talk to you again. Kind of was a rough night for you, but looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, and hopefully you can get this thing up there in the top 5, top 10, maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully, if I can get the luck once again.
There you go. Well, glad to see you back racing. So, good job, bud.
All right. Have a good night, folks.
Thanks, Austin. Great race all the way around. I mean, Merkel steals the show by leading every lap except for one. But we were saying too, great racing all around this thing. I put the camera on all different kinds of people, and we were definitely it was definitely entertaining. Can't really say much more than that.
No, that it was amazing that even though they had some cars, maybe lose control, blow tires and whatever, but everybody still kind of kept everything going. Was one of the things, I think it was Figueroa maybe early. We saw him a little sideways, straightens it out and keeps on going. So that was, it was a great race.
When you think about too, it's a mile-long track, just over a mile, flat track, not the widest track, a little bit claustrophobic, but guys were able to spin. They would spin around, and there's enough room to just drive around them. So it was weird how those instances didn't cause complete gridlock. But hey, that's the way the cookie crumbled tonight. It was great to watch.
Good race. Glad got it nice, and we're out. We usually another 45 minutes or so. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess you could see while we were doing this here, I was flipping these screens around. You can see March 2nd qualifying for the Fun Coast 500 2027 edition. The race will take place on March 9th. There's also another thing here that Ben sent me. Bonfire.com/store/High Voltage Racing League. They've got shirts with our logo on it, man, and the league logo as well, and multiple colors. So if you want to buy some stuff, that link's in the descriptable below. Hit that if you want to do that thing. But
and what do we have upcoming? Because I know we got Open Speedway on Monday.
Oh, our schedule, yes. We have, I will ignore the top one because that's right. You're watching that one right now. But yeah, we've got All-Star Racing on Saturday. We've got Open on Monday, yes.
And then we got RTG. Oh, no, because is it just Flat Out Racing is covering the Bones race, right?
Yes. Yeah,
are you going to try to qualify for it?
That'll be fun. Yeah, the Bones race is a big one.
We're supposed to, pretty soon, starting to do the Aero 88 on Wednesday.
That is correct. Yep. September 9th is the Rolling Thunder Gaming. The Aero 88 series is when we begin to broadcast that. So that's pretty neat. That'll be a fun series. And RTG has all the different sponsorships for the different races. So does Maverick. Maverick offers up sponsorships for the races. If you want to get in on it, then pay for a broadcast. We'll slap your logos all over the place and do that stuff for you. A lot of leagues have kind of taken that. And that's the thing with the bonfire link. So if you were to go over there and buy some shirts, obviously all the Ben would use those funds generated from that to fuel this league, because race servers aren't cheap, TeamSpeak servers aren't cheap. That's how we communicate with everybody.
Yep.
And of course, broadcasting isn't it's not expensive, but we do charge. So it helps the leagues keep on doing what they do. So yeah, support your local NASCAR league and go buy a sweater.
Here you go.
But congratulations to Jack Merkel, and of course, Peavy and Drew. Great race, great race, and Drew at the last second there, like you pointed out too. You can see there the 3rd, 4th, and 5th position, all within about half a second of each other. So that was a pretty good race to the stripe to claim that podium 3rd place finish. And you can see there too. Drew qualified 3rd and finished in 3rd. So a good night for everybody. But we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Yep.
And the Flat Out Racing Network, tune into that on Thursday over at Rolling Thunder to watch the Bones Memorial for David Cannon.
I'm surprised you didn't try to run in it.
Yeah, I could actually, because we don't broadcast that night.
You probably still got a chance to get in there, but you're going to have to race your way in.
Yeah, thank goodness. But as always, thank you to Ben and his whole crew for having us in here to do this. Thank you to everybody on the YouTube machine who watches this thing live or in a video replay. Always appreciated. And of course, all the drivers for putting on a fantastic show this evening. And Mr. Rod Weston, thanks, buddy.
No problem.
And as always, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.